Entry number 10, June 2nd, 2017. I woke this morning from a dream. All I remember was a woman screaming, "Oh God, make it stop!" When I woke, the slow section of the first song and title track of Yes's Close to the Edge was playing on my phone. I went back to sleep. NPR has voted Close to the Edge as one of the 100 albums you must hear before you die. So I don't know what she was complaining about. I used to not like the slow section of Close to the Edge, but I've warmed to it. Today was uneventful. I had no appointments to keep. I woke up at about 9 o'clock a.m., but didn't get out of the building until about noon. I kept resting and taking cat naps was the reason I didn't get out until noon. I went to Whole Foods to turn in some bottles and cans as I didn't have enough to buy a pack of smokes. The machine was running today, finally. I then went and bought a pack of smokes. I then went to the library to do some uploading and talk with MWR and Lisa. MWR is upset with me for not commenting on his blog. At least I think that's what he's upset with me about. I have a hard time understanding him sometimes. He and Lisa are in a contest to see who can post the most blog entries for this month. I told them both I thought it was a silly waste of time and energy, and not just for them, but for me. I'm trying to follow their blog, and I'm getting flooded with email notifications of their excessive blog entries. I guess I went home at about 3, having completed my uploading. I played NetHack until I think about 6:30. I then went down to the convenience store in the same building and bought a Barks root beer instead of a Coke. Excuse me. I then went down to the convenience store in the same building and bought a Barks root beer. I'd have been buying them instead of Coke if I'd ever noticed them before. I also bought some smoked cheese sausage. I then went back up to the 3rd floor to my room and began prepping a food experiment. I cut up 1 sausage, beat 1 egg, and added some Asian sauce called hoisin sauce I found a while back. I then crushed up a bag of top ramen. The sauce and the egg and sausage were in my pot. I then went to the kitchen and cooked all that was in the pot. I'd forgotten to bring a plate, so I emptied the result onto a few paper towels. I don't have a strainer. I plan to use my spatula as a make-do strainer. I wanted to strain out the water in my top ramen for 2 reasons. 1, I usually prefer it that way. 2, so that I only had to use half the beef flavoring, which is part of the reason I prefer it that way. It turns out that the spatula made a horrible strainer, so I made soup despite myself. I then added what I'd cooked before, the sausage and egg and sauce. This food experiment was not very successful. It was okay. I ate it all, but it gave me a stomachache later. Since I was disappointed with the food experiment, I went and microwaved 2 more sausages and added ketchup, mayonnaise, and Grey Poupon mustard, thinking that a safe bet. But it wasn't all that good either. I don't think the sausage is that good. I think that took me to later than 8 o'clock, so I started this entry. It's now about 10:30. I have $2.04.